Blessings given through prayer. Have you ever watched someone you love struggle? Maybe it's a parent who's been hit hard by financial stress, a sibling fighting a health battle, or a friend whose heart is breaking over a fractured relationship. You see their pain, and it weighs on you too. You want to step in to fix it, to take away their burden, but so often you can't. Life doesn't always give us the tools to solve every problem for the people we care about. But there's one thing we can always do, one simple, powerful act that takes just 8 minutes. Prayer. In those quiet moments when we turn to God, we're not just asking for help, we're inviting peace, strength, and grace into their lives and ours. It's not about having all the answers or being a superhero. It's about trusting that there's a higher power who sees what we can't and loves even more deeply than we do. Let me take you through why those 8 minutes matter, how they can transform the way we face life's challenges, and why making this a daily habit might just be the greatest gift you can give to yourself and those you love. The heartache of watching loved ones struggle. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, doesn't it? One day, everything seems fine, and the next, someone close to you is drowning in a problem you can't solve. Picture this. Your mom sits at the kitchen table, staring at a stack of bills she doesn't know how to pay. Her shoulders slump, and the worry lines on her face seem deeper than they were yesterday. Or maybe it's your best friend who calls you in tears because their marriage is falling apart, and they don't know how to hold it together. Perhaps it's your brother who's been to more doctor's appointments than he can count, and the treatments just aren't working. You feel it too, the ache, the helplessness. You'd give anything to make it better. You might offer advice, lend a few dollars, or sit with them through the tears, but deep down, you know it's not enough. There's a limit to what we can do as human beings. We're not God. We can't heal every wound or erase every debt. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. When our hands are tied, our hearts can still reach out through prayer. I remember a time when my aunt was going through a rough patch. She'd lost her job, and her confidence was shattered. I wanted to help, maybe find her a new gig or cheer her up with a day out, but I was a broke college kid with no connections. I felt useless. Then one night, I sat on my bed, closed my eyes, and just talked to God about her. I asked Him to give her strength, to open a door for her, to wrap her in peace. It wasn't fancy, just 8 minutes of honest words. A week later, she called me, excited about a job offer that came out of nowhere. Was it my prayer? I don't know for sure, but I do know it changed something in me. It gave me hope when I'd felt stuck. Why prayer feels like the last resort, but shouldn't. Let's be real. Prayer often feels like the thing we turn to when everything else fails. We exhaust our options, calling friends, Googling solutions, making plans, and only when we hit a wall do we think, well, I guess I could pray. Why is that? Maybe it's because we live in a world that tells us to rely on ourselves, to hustle harder, to figure it out. Prayer can feel passive, like we're giving up. But here's the truth. It's not giving up. It's handing over. There's something beautiful about admitting we don't have it all together. It's humbling, sure, but it's also freeing. When we pray, we're saying, God, I can't carry this alone. I trust you with it. And in those 8 minutes, we're not just dumping our worries, we're building a bridge between our hearts and His. It's a conversation, not a checklist. You don't need perfect words or a theology degree. You just need to show up. Think about a time you felt overwhelmed. Maybe it was a deadline at work, a fight with your spouse, or a health scare that kept you up at night. Did you try to muscle through it on your own? How'd that work out? For me, it usually ends in exhaustion and a bag of potato chips. But when I take a breath and pray, even for just a few minutes, something shifts. The problem might not vanish, but the weight feels lighter. That's the power of letting go and letting God step in. What happens in those 8 minutes? So what's so special about 8 minutes? It's not a magic number carved in stone. It's just a starting point, a small commitment that anyone can make. You don't need an hour or a candlelit room, though if that's your vibe, go for it. 8 minutes is enough to pause, to breathe, to speak from the heart. Here's what those minutes can look like and why they matter. First, you start by quieting down. Life is loud, phones buzzing, kids yelling, traffic honking. Those 8 minutes are your chance to step away from the chaos. Sit somewhere comfy, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Let the noise fade. This isn't about emptying your mind like some meditation guru. It's about making space for God. Then talk to Him. Tell Him about your loved one's struggle. Be specific. If it's your dad's health, say, "God, Dad's been so tired lately and the doctors don't have answers. Please give him energy, guide the nurses, and bring healing." If it's your sister's finances, try, "Lord, she's stressed about rent again. Open a way for her to pay it and ease her anxiety." It's like you're handing Him the details, trusting He knows what to do with them. Next, ask for strength, not just for them, but for you too. Praying isn't selfish when you include yourself. You might say, "Give me patience to listen to her, wisdom to know when to help, and peace when I can't." God doesn't just care about the person you're praying for. He cares about you too. Finally, end with gratitude. Even if nothing's changed yet, thank Him. Thanks for hearing me. Thanks for loving us. Thanks for being bigger than this mess. Gratitude flips the script. It reminds you that you're not alone in this, that there's hope, even when it's hard to see. 8 minutes. That's it. You can do it over coffee, in the car, or before bed. It's not about the clock, it's about the connection. Real stories, real grace. Let me share a couple of stories to show you what prayer can do. Not big, dramatic miracles, though those happen too, but quiet, everyday shifts that matter. There's my neighbor, Lisa. She's a single mom with 2 boys, and last year her oldest started getting into trouble at school, skipping classes, talking back. She was at her wit's end, crying to me over the fence one day. I didn't have advice, I'm not a parenting expert, but I told her I'd pray for her and her son. Every morning for a week, I spent 8 minutes asking God to soften His heart, to guide Lisa, to bring them closer. A month later, she told me he'd started opening up to her. They were talking again, not fighting. She found a counselor who clicked with him. Small steps, but huge for her. Prayer didn't fix it overnight, but it paved the way. Then there's my cousin, Mark. He got laid off during the pandemic, and his pride took a hit. He wouldn't ask for help, but I could see he was sinking. I started praying for him, 8 minutes a day, asking God to lift him up, to give him a new opportunity. One day, he texted me about a random email from an old colleague offering freelance work. It wasn't a dream job, but it was a lifeline. He said, "I don't know why this happened now." I smiled and thought, I might. These aren't blockbuster stories, they're real life. Prayer doesn't always part the seas, but it moves mountains in its own way. It's less about changing the situation and more about changing the people in it, giving them resilience, clarity, or just enough light to take the next step. Why every day matters. Here's the thing. One prayer is powerful, but making it a daily habit, that's where the real transformation happens. Think of it like watering a plant. A single splash helps, but consistent care makes it thrive. When you pray for your loved ones every day, even just 8 minutes, you're not just reacting to a crisis. You're building something. Faith, hope, a lifeline. It's not always easy to stick with it. Mornings get busy, nights get late, and sometimes you're too tired to form a sentence. But that's when it counts most. On the days when you don't feel like it, when the struggles feel too big, those 8 minutes become an anchor. They remind you that you're not carrying this alone, and neither are your loved ones. Try it for a week. Pick one person you care about who's hurting. Set a timer if you want, just 8 minutes, and pray for them every day. Notice what happens. Maybe they'll call with good news. Maybe you'll feel calmer about their situation. Or maybe you'll just sense that quiet assurance that God's got this. Whatever it is, it's worth it. A peace that stays with you. Prayer isn't a quick fix. It's a slow, steady gift. It's not about forcing God's hand or demanding instant results. It's about trust, about leaning into His love when the world feels shaky. And here's the bonus. It doesn't just help the people you're praying for. It changes you too. Those 8 minutes bring you peace, a stillness that sticks with you through the day. You walk a little lighter, worry a little less, love a little deeper. So, next time you see your loved one struggling, whether it's money, health, or a broken heart, don't stop at wishing you could help. Take 8 minutes and pray. Speak their name to God. Ask for grace, strength, and hope. Do it today, tomorrow, every day. It's simple, it's free, and it's more powerful than you might think. You may not see the full picture yet, but He does. And that's enough. Let's make it a habit, friends. 8 minutes. One prayer. Endless possibilities.